All right, let's talk about a really powerful concept, how to take the ideas in a book and make them breathe. We're going to break down a strategy for moving your message from the printed page into a live, unforgettable experience.
So you launch a book, right? And there's this initial burst of energy. There's excitement, there's buzz. It's a great start.
And maybe you do a relaunch later on and you can crank up the volume on that buzz, make it even louder.
But what about something real? Something you can feel? Something beyond just another post online? That is where the magic happens. An in-person event takes all that digital energy, which can be kind of fleeting, and it anchors it. It gives your message a real, solid home.
And this is the core of what we're digging into today, the book-to-room strategy. It's a whole framework built on the idea that your message needs a physical home, not just a digital one. So let's get right into it.
So what is it exactly? Well, at its heart, the strategy is about using an in-person event to turn your book's message into a living, breathing experience. It's about building trust, creating a real community, and generating some serious value.
And this slide says it all, doesn't it? Screens inform. You know, we scroll, we read, we passively consume content. But rooms? Rooms transform. When you get people together, they're not just consuming your ideas. They're living them, embodying them, and that is a world of difference.
Okay, so now we're going to dive into the heart of this strategy. Think of this as a quick executive briefing on the 5 core pillars that make this so incredibly powerful.
Let's kick it off with pillar number 1.
This is all about the unbelievable power of just being in the same room. Seriously, there is something that happens when people are sharing the same space that no video call, no matter how good the connection is, can ever truly replicate.
And this isn't some vague, fuzzy feeling. This trust creates real, tangible results. You can see it right here. Conversations go way deeper, commitment gets so much stronger, and clarity, man, clarity just moves at the speed of light. Things you'd spend days on over email get solved in 5 minutes.
So the main takeaway here is that your ideas stop being just words on a page. They become a part of a shared physical experience. That's a huge shift. All right, on to the second pillar. This is where we go from me to we. This is where you see the shift from a bunch of individuals into a real group. Reading a book is a one-to-one experience, just you and the author. But an event, that's a many-to-many explosion. This comparison nails it. A book creates individual insight, that private aha moment you have when you're reading. But an event creates a collective identity. People walk in as individual readers and walk out as a community.
And that's really the big idea, isn't it? Movements aren't started in comment sections. They're built in rooms, with people, together.
Okay, let's move on to our third pillar. And this one is so critical because it's where the rubber meets the road. We're talking about closing that huge gap between knowing something and actually doing something about it. And an in-person event is one of the best ways to do that. I mean, how true is that? It's probably the biggest frustration for any author or expert. But when you get people in a room sharing what they're gonna do, a natural accountability just forms. Being there together makes people want to take action. And now for our fourth pillar. This is all about perception, about elevating your status. Just think about it for a second. A lot of people write books, but how many people can command a room and lead a live event based on that book? It immediately signals a whole different level of expertise. The signal it sends is what's key here. As the slide says, it tells the world, this isn't just a cool theory I came up with. This is a framework for actual transformation. You go from being an author to being a true leader. And that brings us to our fifth and final pillar. This one is all about the business case, the long-term win. Yeah, let's talk business for a second. An event is not just an expense on a spreadsheet. It is an investment in deepening relationships, and that is where the real lasting value is created. I absolutely love this analogy. Your book, that's the front door. It's the invitation into your world. But the event, that's the living room. That's where you sit down, have real conversations, and build the kind of partnerships and opportunities that just don't happen over email. So when you look at all 5 of these pillars, trust, community, action, authority, and value, it really all boils down to one simple but profound question about your work.
Just let that sink in. The book isn't the finish line, it's the starting gun. It's the catalyst for something so much bigger.
And that's the question I'll leave you with. If your book is the invitation, what's the room you're inviting people into? A workshop? A mastermind? A community? Because that is where the ideas on the page truly come to life.